In today's episode of What Happens To, I'm going to be talking about Mr. Negative. This is a champion that I've used a very long time across my channel's lifespan. He's always been a favorite for me. And at this point, I think he definitely deserves to be on the series, because he's not a really popular champion anymore. He used to be pretty cool. There used to be people who would play him a lot, but now it's just like very dedicated fans who are going to play Negative now. And when he came out in a time where competitive game modes weren't really popular. There was War, but I don't think BGs even existed yet. This was 2021, so yeah, it didn't. And obviously, we all know like the big issue with Negative for competitive game modes, and that's the unfazed mastery, because you're playing a character who wants to evade a lot, and he can't have full safety of that if he doesn't have any unfazed counter. So when BGs came out and people started running unfazed, well, he's not a very reliable attacker for BGs anymore, which kind of sucks. I still run him in BGs decks occasionally. I still think it's worth it in some matchups because he is really a strong character still, but I definitely don't run him nearly as much as I used to. And it's really unsafe in War because, yeah, like, unfazed in War, if you're really trying to play Negative, could be a really long uphill battle for the whole fight, depending on how long the fights are. However, he does have a really cool synergy with Photon, where when he converts his energy, he's going to place a slow on the opponent, which is going to counter unfazed that way. So what are some other issues that Negative has that might have caused him to lose popularity? Another big thing is he's a character who really wants to block a lot. And the problem with running to block a lot, and it means you're just taking a bunch of chip damage. And so he had pretty low block proficiency, and it's better now because we have stat focus, we have stat cast relics. I'm running the block proficiency, stat cast, and the block proficiencies stat focus. So yeah, the block proficiency, stat focus, and stat cast relic in the Cap Infinity War one. And those definitely make him feel a good bit better on the block, of course, but still, even just being a character who really wants to block to ramp is kind of annoying for a lot of matchups, especially with high block pen champs and just unblockable champs, obviously. Then you have a really hard time ramping. You'd have to do it off of dex buffs and stuff, and it's just not necessarily a fun playstyle, just having to block 10 times before dropping your special 2. But still, there are some positives to Negative. Like, he has some pretty decent damage. You don't really see too much of it there because it's a Realm of Legends, and he really is a quick burst champ. So he wants health pools that are closer to like 400k rather than 550k. But yeah, the goal with Negative is to kill everything in 1 SP2. If he can do that, he's going to feel really fast. But he's not always going to be able to do that if the health pool is too big. But here, we're going to show off some Alliance War gameplay. And we're fighting this Ebony Maw here. Mr. Negative is degeneration resistant, and if you're wondering how he countered miss there, it was from the tactic at the time. He doesn't actually have any miss counter, but he is degen resistant. If he's awakened, he heals from degen, which is really cool. Like, it makes him really good for Ebony Maw, makes him really good for Mojo and other degen dealing champs. And it's really strong too. Like, you're not only just getting resistance to it, you're regenning from the effect. It's really nice. So here I'm fighting an Enchantress war boss. This was back when she was always on the boss node for this specific war tactic, the Secutor tactic. She would get a lot of power gain. And the way you kind of counter this one is by pushing her special 3 with an invul. And that's mainly because you just can't really stop the power gain too much. But Mr. Negative was a really nice go-to for these bosses, in my opinion. I was taking him pretty consistently in War back at that time, and it was pretty worth it because he was able to make this fight relatively safe. What we're going to do is just push her red and invul tank it. And yeah, like, he's a pretty decent for Enchantress. Like, I always say, like, the most annoying thing about Enchantress is when you're playing a champion who's going to trigger Mystic Dispersion a lot, and then she's just going to get special ones more often than normal. And Mr. Negative, just removing all of the buffs on him when he dashes back, just makes Mystic Dispersion not really be something you have to worry about too much. And I think it's really cool. Like, he's not buff immune, but he just takes the buffs off of him when he dashes back. It's really interesting, honestly. And on top of that, he's immune to Nullify, Stagger, and Fate Seal, which is really nice Mystic utility. I wish it was neutralized at times, but he doesn't really need it, so it's fine. And neutralize was on like one character. I think it was just Tigra when he first came out, so it wouldn't really make too much sense for him to be immune to that, especially when Tigra wasn't placing it on you on defense. So yeah. Anyway, this is the war boss for you. We just invul tanker special 3s and do a crap ton of damage with the degens. Which is definitely nothing to scoff at. Like, there's going to be war boosts, of course, because I'm playing competitive war, I'm going to boost up. But even then, like, his damage versus the Mystics especially feels pretty decent in a BG scenario. And boom, Enchantress goes down right there. And we'll move on to the next fight, which is something interesting I kind of want to show with negative. It's the fact that in some scenarios, he is really strong in being a science champ who doesn't rely on debuffs, because if you go for the special 3, you're going to be doing direct damage to your opponent based off of your dark energy, instead of where the special 2 will be placing degen debuffs. So this is a debuff immune Sasquatch node, and yeah, it's really interesting because obviously science champs revolve all around debuffs, so being a science champ that doesn't need to have them to do your damage is really strong. One of my favorite things about Overseer, and part of what makes Torch so ridiculous with his pre-fight, which again, Torch kind of makes it a shame because Torch just makes nukes like every Mystic in existence. So the fact that negative can do that doesn't always matter as much if Torch can just do it better, right? Which, you know, again, like power creep or just overpowered science champs can be part of what caused negative's downfall. Because Torch is just objectively the better champ because of his speed. That's just how that happens, how some champs lose their value and stuff. But like, look at the damage after the special 3. That's 200,000 damage plus in burst after the end of the attack. Which again is boosted up by my boosts and a little bit from the Fury. And there's some text from this because I took this fight from a video I already uploaded. But yeah, like, we're just going to do that again, and it's pretty cool, like, seeing science champs who don't need to have their debuffs active to be able to do some nice damage, which is something I enjoy seeing. So here, I'm going to try to drop a special 3 again, but I need to ramp up some more dark energy first, which, in order to get dark energy, I need light energy. I do really like how he's designed, though. I don't like the block all the time gameplay. But I do like how you get this light energy and you convert it into dark energy. I really like the concept, I think is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'm going to relic into my heavy to trigger the protection down, and then we're just going to go for the special 3 here, and then it's going to do enough damage to kill him. So, yeah, he's going to go down right here, and then for the end of the video, I want to talk about the little graphic I put at the end of these videos talking about the champ. So he has strengths, his degen resistance, his heal and power control, which is really nice with the petrifies because you can invert both of those things. And the fact that all of his damage is direct damage, basically, because the degens are direct damage, and even if you can't access the debuffs, you have the damage source from the special 3 as well, which isn't going to be as strong, but it's still a nice little alternative. And can they help your account? I think he can. Like, if you're a progressing player, I think Mr. Negative has a lot of pieces of utility that can help you. If you're like a really high competitive player, he might not be too strong, but he's still a really cool champ, and I think he's more than a maybe, because I've given some champs maybes when I do this little graphic at the end. The only champs who I've given a yes to is Silver Sable and now Mr. Negative. And I think Mr. Negative is borderline a maybe. I definitely don't think he's like a top 10 science right now, but I do think he can definitely help a player's account for sure. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and listening to me talk about one of my old favorite champs. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.